YouTube world, happy new year. It is, what day is it today? I've lost track of all time. It's New Year's Eve. And I thought I'd begin the new year with a little bit of a tutorial on a step-by-step tutorial on how I'm going to create this painting. This is my inspiration. It's a picture that my husband took from Hamworthy beach of the, I think it's an old jetty. Corfe Castle's in the distance. Oh, on the face of it, you might think, well, that's a really boring picture. Not a lot of colour happening. And there isn't, but that's why I like it. So I'm going to be taking you through step by step, as clearly as I can, what processes I go through to create this painting. And that includes what I do with my canvas, how I mix the paints up, because I've had a couple of people say, can you do a video on how to mix your paints? I will do that. My pouring medium, how I do my test piece, what I then do to adjust the colours if I need to move on to a bigger piece. So this is likely to be a video, 3 videos. They might not be back to back, but I will number them clearly. I'm one of those people who I will paint when I feel like it. Because, why? Because I just want to enjoy it. You know, I don't want it to become a chore. And those of you watching this who do paint will know that the preparation sometimes puts you off painting. So I'm going to show you all the prep that I do over the course of these next 3 videos. So we're going to start off with the canvas. Hobbycraft. I do not normally buy canvases from Hobbycraft. It's just one that I picked up. I don't find them particularly good quality. So this is a 50 by 20 centimetres. It comes with stretchers that never, ever, ever fit. So let's see, shall we? Let's see if they do fit. They're quite lightweight. So, straight edge, longest straight edge will go in supposedly the bottom. As you see, it's very loose. That's just going to fall out. Let's try another one. That's just going to fall out. So straight away, they go in the bin. Actually, they go into my fire pile for kindling. So we don't bother. Now I'm only preparing this canvas today. I'm not actually painting today. So I will spray the back, but I'm not going to do that yet. So this is my parcel tape. And I will put this on the back. I like using parcel tape rather than masking tape or gaffer tape. I've tried them all and this for me is the best. And it's quite cheap to buy. I also have plenty of this at hand because I use it to finish the back of my paintings as well. Just rub it down with the heel of my hand. And then have a cutting mat, turn it over, trim the excess off, so about half an hour before I paint this canvas, I will spray some water on the back to really tighten this canvas up, and then I'm good to go. So the next stage is we are going to jump onto my computer. So what I've done, I have created a document exactly the same size as my canvas, so it's quite big. Incidentally, before I go into detail, you don't have to do this. This is the way my mind works. My mind is very methodical, and sometimes I just do this just to let my mind work out in a clear, concise manner what I want to do. So you can do this in any word processing package. Word will be just fine. It's just because I've got this, I use it all the time. This is a program called InDesign, and I'm working on an Apple Mac. So my document is 20 centimeters wide, and 50 centimeters deep. Now, I know that I have 3 different size flip cups. So I will use 2 flip-flops. Flip-flops? Don't use flip-flops, use cups. So I'm just going to draw a couple of circles the same size as my flip cups. So the first size is going to be a 38 millimeters, both the same in diameter. There's my first flip cup, and I'm just going to put that to one side. My second cup size is 50. So there's my second flip cup. So I'm just going to put that to one side. There you go. Now, this is quite handy. I am going to import my picture. From wherever I've saved it to, let me think, there it is there, open. You'll see it's not the right size, so I will make it fit the width. And you will see that it's still not the right size. So my crop on my picture and my canvas size are not the same proportions. That's okay. So I'm going to make it fit top and bottom and the sides. So you will see, if I just pull one of these handles out, you'll see I'm cropping some of the picture. But that's okay because I know I've got the right size. So I'm going to drag my smallest size flip cup. Just bring that to the front. There we go. Because that area here where the hills are will be my smaller sized flip cup. I probably will use less paint in this as well because it's quite thin, and that is the area that's worrying me the most. We'll see how we go. So let's see how many flip cups I can get at the top. So I'm just going to repeat that one and that one. I think probably a little bit of space, because these are bigger flip cups than this one. I can use 3 flip cups at the top and probably use, select them all, not background. I can use definitely 3 cups at the bottom actually, but what I'm going to do is going to move that one up. Forget all these bits of wood that are sticking up. I'm concentrating on doing the background as a flip cup at the moment. I'm going to have another one of these because you see down here there's quite a lot of detail down here. So I'm going to use a smaller one there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flip cups, and I know for a fact that those flip cups, because they're the right size, on the right document size, the right canvas size, that where I'm positioning them is pretty accurate. So I can just move that to one side now. Let's just move that as well. And I can look at this and I can start to work out what colours I want to use in each flip cup. And what I will do is I will just write them in these circles. So I know, as I'm filling my flip cups, I know what colours I'm going to use. So that's the next stage. Some beautiful lights coming through the window at the moment. I'm dappled. So I have various sizes here. So on the computer, I thought I needed 3 flip cups for the sky and a small flip cup for the horizon where the hills are, then another big one. Now there's quite a lot of space there, so I think I'm going to do that in 3 smaller flip cups, so there's more detail. There's not a lot of detail in the sky. Incidentally, you think, well, why aren't you using a bigger flip cup? Number one, I think it'd be too much paint. Number two, it's easier to work and control a smaller amount of paint than it is in a bigger flip cup. And believe you me, I have done flip cups in big cups and they are difficult to control. Much easier to keep it smaller. Use more flip cups, but keep it smaller. So I think we'll do that. We'll have 3 at the bottom, 3 at the top, and these 2 in the middle. So I'm going to go back to my computer and adjust my guides. So just going to delete those 2. Actually, do you know, because I know everything's the right size here and I know that I can see there's more detail in the bottom of this picture, I'm actually going to put 4. Oh, sorry, there's my phone. I'm actually going to do 4 flip cups there. Looking back at the video, I just was thinking, oh, there's a lot of space between those flip cups at the bottom. So there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cups. Next stage. Okay, so we're back in the studio. Unfortunately, my computer isn't in the same room as my studio, which is not unfortunate at all because it'd probably have paint all over it if it was. So I've transferred my picture onto my iPad. Now, you could print it out if you were going to go down the route of just, you know, copying what I've done. But I have no ink in my printer and I try and be paperless where possible. Plus ink is really expensive. So this is where I'm going to talk about what colours I'm going to use, and I'm going to make it really as clear as I can. So just on a piece of paper, I know that I have a sky. I know that I have a horizon, well, just say hills. I know I have water. I know that I have sand. Oh. And I know that I have, let's call it foreground. Okay, really rough. So what colours am I going to use? Am I going to use colours straight out of the tubes? In some cases, yes, but in most cases, no. So just a little tip. I have a few of these dotted around my studio. And if you're not sure about what colours are what, and you have a shocking memory like me, I always get mixed up between raw umber and burnt umber. And those 2 colours I use a lot for underpaintings with a brush. You can use any colour for an underpainting, but burnt umber is warmer than raw umber. And in this case, I can see that raw umber would be a really good start to use for foregrounds. So I'm just going to put raw umber down there. And there's different shades of raw umber. So I'm going to do raw umber plus black. So instantly I've got two different shades. Okay. Now there's also some warm bits, so I could add, or should I, or could I? No, I'm going to leave burnt umber out of it. And I'm going to make up a lighter raw umber plus titanium white. So for the foreground, I've got 3 colours to go in one of my flip cups, if not 2. We'll work that out later. Incidentally, again, you can use this for any colour. I have this one for yellow because I got so confused over yellows that I did this. So I can instantly see the transparency of one colour against the opacity of another colour, etc. How cool they are, how warm they are. It's well worth doing something like this. So let's get this back again. The sand, that's a pretty good match, isn't it? Raw sienna. So the sand colour will be the start of raw sienna. Now I want to add some gold in there. Not a lot, but I will. This is where you can get jiggy with it and you can bring it to life a little bit. Don't forget, I'm using this as inspiration. Now, in the water, there's quite a few, there is quite a few different shades going on there that are difficult to decipher. But straight away you look at it and the colour that pops into my mind is grey. So I am going to use grey and I'm going to use silver. So I'm going to use silver in the sky and grey in the sky because the two are reflected. But down here, I've got a question mark in my mind because it's a bit of a greeny tinge, but I know I can probably get that colour by mixing the grey and the raw sienna. So we're just going to write grey plus sienna here. So I'm really breaking this down for you, and I'm in the hope that it's really not complicated, that you can apply this theory to any photograph that you want to use as reference, use as inspiration for doing fluid art. So the hills, I'm not going to use black. I'm going to save black for the posts so they really jump out. So I'm going to do a very dark grey. And I'm going to use a lighter shade of grey plus blue. Why am I using blue? Because I would try and go closer up at this point in the video, but you'll see there's 2 different shades behind the hill in the foreground there, and they're smoky and they're bluey. So that's what I want to try and replicate. So lighter grey plus blue, lighter grey, so we just do another one plus white. So I've got 3 colours, 3 different shades of colour going into this little flip cup here. So the sky, it's pretty boring, isn't it? But I'm okay with that because I often make my skies too complicated and I don't want to do that. So predominantly grey, silver, and titanium white. But I'm also going to have blue on standby. So there we go. Move that to one side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colours to mix up for this painting. So I'll leave that there because I don't want to be too long on this first video. So the next video will be how I will mix these paints up from scratch. So if you're a complete beginner to this, you know, you might find this helpful, you might not. If you've been used to painting for a while, then you'll probably skip on to my a couple of videos time. That's okay. But I hope you found this helpful. Bye.